What if Superman became Batman? That question is answered in Superman, Speeding Bullets, an Elseworlds story from 1993, written by J.M. DeMatteis and illustrated by Eduardo Barreto. The concept is similar to a couple of imaginary stories from the Silver Age of comics, where Bruce Wayne was either a Kryptonian or he was adopted by the Kents. However, Speeding Bullets takes the concept quite seriously. This graphic novel begins with the usual Superman origin, with Krypton exploding and the rocket ship flying away from the planet. The person narrating the events is someone unknown, but who somehow knows all the details about the story. The narrator tells us how the ship landed in Gotham, and how Thomas and Martha Wayne found it and decided to take the baby as their own son. They called him Bruce, and the little boy grew up in Wayne Manor, sheltered from the outside world and protected by the love and care from both his parents and Alfred, their butler. The family would only go outside on special occasions, like going to the movies and such things. One of those days, tragedy happened and Thomas and Martha Wayne were killed in front of little Bruce. So far we have the standard Superman and Batman origin stories merged together, but this is where things start to get twisted. The criminal also shoots the sad little boy, but the bullets don't hurt him. They make him angry, and the kid blasts the criminal with heat vision from his eyes. Bruce blocked the memory of that incident entirely, and he grew up to become an adult who never came out of Wayne Manor. He dislikes the outside world as he thinks it's only a violent place. One night, some criminals attack Wayne Manor, and Bruce becomes enraged. After dealing with them, he finally remembers the rage he felt when he was a kid, and what he did to the man who killed his parents. Bruce needs answers, and Alfred takes him down to the cave underneath Wayne Manor, where the spaceship is locked away alongside the journal of Thomas Wayne, which chronicles the events of Bruce's childhood. Bruce finally learns the truth, and in the darkness of the cave, he becomes aware of the bats surrounding him, and he feels freedom for the first time in his life. Bruce starts flying around and embraces all of his hidden powers. And I actually like this moment, because it's a metaphor of how we can achieve our full potential. Unless we know ourselves completely well and we make peace with our own difficult past, we won't ever be complete. I really like how the story promotes the principle and value of self-knowledge as a way to become a better person, and in this case it helps Bruce grasp his full Kryptonian heritage. The story continues and it hints at the presence of the Joker, but his face is not revealed. After that, Batman makes his first official appearance, stopping a shooter from a rooftop in a very ruthless fashion, making his presence known to Gotham. The next day, Bruce Wayne shows up in Wayne Enterprises, where Lex Luthor is trying to buy the company. Bruce shuts off the deal and tells everyone that he will take care of business from now on. Bruce is determined to make his companies work for the better of the city, and that also means to make a proper newspaper of the Gotham Gazette. He hires Perry White and Lois Lane, both of whom had been fired from the Daily Planet in Metropolis after Luthor bought that company. Bruce wants Perry and Lois to make a difference and tell the truth to the people of Gotham, but in the process, he starts to fall in love with Lois. At this point, we learn that the person who has been narrating the story this whole time is Lois, as if she was telling the story from somewhere in the future. And while I think that's cool, I do wish they had used Vicky Vale instead, just to play more with the characters from the Batman mythos. But this is a Superman comic book after all. Later, Lois Lane is harassed by Lex Luthor, who tries to touch her inappropriately. When she rejects him, Lois is pushed out of Luthor's car in a bad neighborhood, where she is about to be attacked by a group of hoodlums. This moment marks the second appearance of Batman, as he bursts from the ground and brutally attacks the thugs, saving Lois. Now, we know that the normal Batman is all about making criminals afraid and he uses methods to scare them. So I guess that if Batman had superpowers, he would burst from the ground just to scare them. It's a weird logic, but logic nonetheless. In any case, Batman not only scared the thugs but also Lois, who sees him as a terrible monster and not a hero. As Batman flies away in confusion, we get to see the full Batman costume, which is different from the normal Batsuit as it covers the entire face, and also the Bat symbol in the chest is actually shaped as the normal Superman symbol. Another curious thing is that this story twists the traditional relationship between Lois Lane and the main character, as here she falls in love with the secret identity instead of the hero. A serious romance starts to blossom between Bruce and Lois, but it is cut short when Lex Luthor shows up at the Gazette and reveals that he is actually the Joker. This was the most shocking and absurd twist of the whole story, but I couldn't stop smiling. Lex had survived a chemical explosion, but his face was turned white and, for some reason, he became insane. As much as that origin story doesn't make any sense, they just power through it and Lex kidnaps Lois, taking her on a flight across Gotham. Batman follows him and rescues Lois, but as he fights the Joker in mid-air, the Madman reveals that this is all just a distraction from his main plan. Joker has unleashed an army of mercenaries that are attacking Gotham, destroying the city, just for the sake of it. An enraged Batman decides to kill off the Joker by dropping him to his death, but he changes his mind when he notices Lois' disapproval. After saving the Joker and sending him to jail, Batman goes to stop the mercenaries and he fights for the safety of Gotham City with all of his might. They are absolutely no match for Batman, and the crisis is averted before nightfall. Finally, Batman talks to Lois under the moonlight, and she tells him that with all his powers, he could become something bigger, a symbol of hope. Batman tells her that he is not capable of doing that, to which she replies that Batman may not be able to do that, but Bruce Wayne definitely is. The two of them embrace, and after a loving kiss, they fly away into the night. As the book comes to an end, Gotham City looks different. It looks bright, and Bruce Wayne has adopted a different identity. He is now Superman. I have to confess that I almost forgot that I was reading a Superman story, which is why I didn't really care about that ending. They deconstructed the character of Superman, using the Batman mythos as a playground to show the virtues of the Man of Steel, but in doing so, they threw Batman and his core values under the bus. The story implies that Batman should never wield more power than he already has, because he would become a tyrannical monster who brutalizes people. It shows us that Batman is not a hero to look up to, but rather a childhood obsession that only goes away when the person becomes mature enough. It definitely says that Batman will always be beneath Superman. The story tries to make us believe that Gotham could be a better, brighter place just by putting Superman there, which is a bit of a stretch if you ask me. The one thing that I did like about this deconstruction of Superman is that it definitely shows us that love is the only capable thing of changing Batman. Love is the most powerful feeling and it heals Bruce of his past traumas, making him rise above hate. That's why the normal Batman has to reject love constantly, because if he allowed himself to feel true love for someone else, to be filled with happiness and joy, he would have no reason to be Batman anymore. In the end, Superman Speeding Bullets is a Superman story, one that uses the elements of the Batman mythos, but only to reject all of them. Although I did have fun with all the twists and variations of the normal mythos, I didn't care for the ending or any possibilities within this context. It's certainly a fun story, but one that I wouldn't take too seriously. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and share it around, because it seems YouTube is not promoting my latest videos, so any help you can give me is much appreciated. As always, the biggest thanks go to my Patreons, who keep me motivated despite all the problems, and also a shout out to all of you who watch until the end. Thank you very much. Remember that you can always follow me on Twitter at Salazar. Friends, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.